Hey everyone. Some of you are aware that native unmodded Guitar Hero 3 has a note limit which will cause the game to crash if you play a song with more than 4,000 notes. This is independent of the song's length, so whether the song is 1 minute long or 20 minutes, it'll still crash if the song has more than 4,000 notes. What you probably don't know is that Guitar Hero 3 has a limit related to the length of the song as well. While I was reverse engineering Guitar Hero 3 during my note limit and tapping note development, I came across the constant 7,200,000 several times. At first I paid no attention to it since it had no apparent relevance to what I was working on, and I understood the game much less then than I do now. One of the things I learned a lot about were notes. Roughly speaking, notes have three values in Guitar Hero 3: time, frets, and length. When Guitar Hero 3 loads a song for the very first time, the game will allocate the maximum amount of notes it can, which by default is 4,000 notes, the note limit. Interestingly enough, though, when it allocates these notes, it also initializes the time portion to 7,200,000. Since time in Guitar Hero 3 is in milliseconds, this translates to 2 hours. So what's special about 2 hours? Nothing really, except that the game seems to expect songs to be less than 2 hours, and interprets any value over 2 hours more or less as the end of the song. So what happens when we play a song that's longer than 2 hours? To test this out, I made this song consisting of 6 notes that ends just about a half second before the 2 hour mark. This will be the trial run. So what happened here? At first it looks like the song just insta-failed as after it was completed, but if we slow the video down, we can see that the note streak was broken right before the rock meter quickly plummeted into the deep red and failed out. Earlier I said that Guitar Hero 3 allocates all the notes it can when it loads a song for the first time. Let's take a look at Slow Ride for instance. Slow Ride's expert chart has 511 notes. When the song is loaded, Guitar Hero 3 will first initialize all 4,000 note objects if they are not initialized already. The game will then set the time position of all these notes to 2 hours. As the game progresses, Guitar Hero 3 will gradually fill in the properties of the note objects with frets, time positions, and length. Guitar Hero 3 needs this array of note objects in order to handle battle mode, which can mutate the chart the player is playing on with double notes and the difficulty up power-ups. Only 511 note objects of the available 4,000 will actually be used in Slow Ride. The remaining 3,449 note objects will never be reached because the song ends long before the 2 hour mark is reached. In our song, this isn't the case. After the song ends, we hit the 2 hour mark and then fail because it's impossible to hit the 3,994 unused fretless notes sitting at the 2 hour mark. We can see this is the case if we play the section in practice mode. I've attached a memory viewer here as well to give some additional clarification on what's happening. Before we hit the 2 hour mark, you can notice a brief pause as the game tries to load all 3,994 garbage notes at the 2 hour mark of the song. As soon as the 2 hour mark is crossed, the game's current note index rapidly increases. This is because you can only miss one note per frame by not strumming. If this wasn't the case, the note index would instantly jump to 4,000. One other thing that is interesting is that even though the game sets the position of every note in the note table to 2 hours when you start a song, it doesn't reset the other properties of the notes, such as the frets or the length values. What that means is that after you play a song, every note you played in that song is preserved in the note table at the 2 hour mark until it is overwritten. To demonstrate this, we will briefly play Slow Ride on Easy. This will fill up about 10 to 50 notes in the note table. When we load up our 2 hour practice section, the game will set all the time values in the note table to 2 hours, but neglect to clear the frets or length value of those notes. The game then overwrites the first 5 entries in the note table with the notes from this section: red, orange, blue, green, and blue. And then at the end of the section, we're left with the garbage from the Slow Ride Easy track. For completeness, we'll test the song that's longer than 2 hours. This next song is 2 hours and 10 minutes long, and it also has over 20,000 notes in it, so we're going to be using our note limit fix in order to keep the game from crashing. This also has some other interesting side effects that you'll see.
2 hours later.
At this point, we're past the 2-hour mark of the song. The game hasn't crashed. Right now it's trying to load the garbage note sitting at 2 hours. However, since we're using the note limit fix, instead of having only 4,000 notes to look through, it has to look through about 1 million. Consequently, this is taking a much longer time. At this point, if no fail was turned off, the song would be instantly failed. Even though you can see the bot trying to hit apparently invisible notes, the only notes left in the song at this point are garbage notes sitting back at the 2-hour mark of the song. None of the notes left in the song will actually load. From this point, it will actually take 13 minutes for the game to get through the 978,000 garbage notes in the song, which is actually 3 minutes after the song is supposed to end.
Eventually.
Now that the bot ran out of real notes in the song, it's actually trying to hit the garbage notes. But since the garbage notes don't have any frets, it's actually impossible, so the only thing it succeeds at doing is making a lot of noise.
A few inches later.
The actual note count is 23,868, but we're about 160,000 over that. Since I figured out everything that was wrong with this 2-hour limit, I figured I'd fix it. There's only 4 useful references to 7,200,000 in the game's code, so I replaced all of those. The limit for songs is now 24 days, which is as high as it can get without risking integer overflow. The link for this plugin is in the description. That's all I had, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video and learned something new. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment.